Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Shosha Minato for TVS Nightline. Let's begin with this breaking update. The traffic was on hold for more than 2 hours due to the road closure at Jalan Simpang 3 heading towards Jalan MENDU after a man was shot dead for allegedly trying to evade and ram police personnel around 7:40 p.m. at Jalan MENDU, Kuching today. Prior to the incident, the suspect was driving a sedan, was ordered by the police to stop for checks. The suspect disregarded the order and sped off, hitting several vehicles at the Jalan Simpang 3 traffic light. It is believed at least 5 shots were fired by the police towards the suspect. Paramedics at the scene confirmed that the suspect had died at the scene. Kuching Police Chief ACP Ashmon Baja noted the Sarawak Police Commissioner will issue a statement on a case. And now on to the next update. Our rights are protected. Those were the words said by Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng following the passing of bill to amend the federal constitution related to the Malaysia Agreement 1963, or more widely known as MA63. Abang Johari said the bill approved by Parliament yesterday was one of the efforts taken by Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, to ensure the rights of Sarawakians are always protected.
Hari itu sudah ada satu kemenangan kita GPS. Kena pindaan perlembagaan MA63 yang dibawa oleh Menteri kita dari GPS, Datuk Wan Junaidi, di Parlimen, di mana kita pindah mengenai dengan khas-khas hak Sarawak, termasuklah Malaysian Agreement dan juga IGC. Sebagian daripada perlembagaan kita dibawa ke Parlimen sudah diluluskan oleh Parlimen. Sedangnya 200 orang muni bersetuju dengan pindaan perlembagaan. Definisi persekutuannya adalah definisi dari kita Sarawak. Dan dah dimasuknya bermakna hak kita terbela di dalam perlembagaan.
The Chief Minister made the statement at a gathering with women community leaders in Gedong on Tuesday and reiterated the matter in Krian when presenting communal reserve and private land title today. Minister in the Prime Minister's Office for Parliament and Law, Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said the amendment will see MA63 being equivalent to the Federal Agreement of 1948 and the Federal Agreement of 1957. He added that with this recognition, the government can now refer to all promises made in 1963, which includes what was stated in the Inter-Government Committee IGC's report, which is an in-depth study of the Cobalt Commission's report on Sabah and Sarawak's claims. Meanwhile, Tupong incumbent Fazruddin Abdul Rahman expressed his appreciation to the members of Parliament who supported the amendments to protect the rights of Sarawak and Sabah in the Malaysian Federation. He hopes that with the passing of the constitutional amendments, more rights belonging to Sarawak that have been intentionally or unintentionally eroded can be restored in line with the amendment to Article 160, Bracket 2 of the Federal Constitution. Fazruddin said that the state government under Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS has formulated various initiatives to restore Sarawak's rights, including introducing state sales tax SST. He added that all this has been implemented in the last 5 years, and the GPS government also has many more plans to demand for the restoration of eroded rights from the federal government, which reflects the commitment of the GPS government in defending the rights of Sarawak based on MA63, the IGC report, and the Federal Constitution.
The Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS coalition, acts more rationally on the basis of legal provisions until the constitutional amendment to the Malaysia Agreement 1963 is approved by the Parliament. Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari slammed certain parties campaigning in the Sarawak 12th state election by bringing extreme ideology, which is the idea of Sarawak cessation from Malaysia. Abang Johari says that the state government government also demand the federal government to defend Sarawak's right under MA 63.
Bekas Raskom sebagai area. Kerana kita dulu menentang komunis. Komunis tidak ada lagi, kita mesti bela rakyat yang telah menentang komunis. Tapi secara undang-undang. Jangan kita orang lain minta merdeka. Terus nak keluar. GPS ikut undang-undang.
He said this while speaking at the leaders' meeting with the people event at the Penghulu Seribu Hall, Nanga, Tarakanowit. Prior to this, a political party raised a poster containing a picture suggesting Sarawak to be out of Malaysia. However, the Election Commission has taken down such poster. Regarding development in Ngemah and Macan, Abang Johari said he has received a proposal from Kanowit MP Dato' Aaron Agodagang to establish a regional development agency in the area.
Memang benar Dato' Aaron ada minta supaya ada regional agency yang kita tubuh untuk membantu pemansang kita di area itu. Saya bersetuju dengan prinsipal.
Meanwhile, Assistant Minister in the Chief Minister's Department for Law, Federal State Relations and Project Monitoring, Datuk Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali described the approval of the MA 63 bill amended as a success treaty for Sarawak.
Dengan pengiktirafan ini, maka lebih banyak lagi yang banyak dapat kita laksanakan. Ya. Contohnya seperti yang kita tahu, dengan kita laksanakan hak kita di bawah MA 63, kita telah mendapat cukai jualan terhadap barang petroleum. Dan ini tuntutan kita dalam MA 63 ini diiktiraf sekarang ini, jadi senang untuk kita melihat dan apa-apa hak kita memang kita akan diiktiraf lah. Jadi ini yang utama, dan dengan pengiktirafan ini banyak hak-hak kita akan dapat lebih lebih senang untuk kita mendapat hak dari sudut keuangan kita. Akan bertambah lagi revenue kita. Bila revenue kita bertambah seperti revenue tambahan dengan kita kenakan cukai jualan, ya. Tahun lepas kita dapat lebih 3 bilion satu tahun. Dalam 2 tahun kita dapat hampir 7 bilion pendapatan tambahan daripada tuntutan hak di bawah MA 63. Jadi, dan semua ini digunakan untuk membangunkan negeri Sarawak. Banyak lagi yang harus kita laksanakan, ya. Sebab itu kita perlu dana yang banyak ini, dan ini dimudahkan dengan pengiktirafan MA 63 di dalam perlembagaan persekutuan, ya.
All assets should attain a proper documentation for its proprietor. This also includes land, as it should have a proper land title to avoid any dispute or conflicts.
Sebab itu kita mesti ada undang-undang. Orang yang klaim tanah itu, tanah dia, semudak dia, memang sudah dia punya, maka kita keluarkan surat yang mengatakan tanah itu dipunyai oleh rumah panjang itu.
He said this during the gazetted Native Land Reserve presentation ceremony to recipients in Roban earlier today. Commenting further, he also added that laws are important in the administration of a country. As such, NCR lands should be surveyed thoroughly through the proper channel before claiming ownership to avoid any dispute. Abang Johari also advised landowners to develop their land to increase economic activities and at the same time provide an additional flow of income.
Kena nak maju mesti ada capital, ada modal. Di sana Sakra bantu untuk menyediakan modal secara Sakra dengan wampun tanah. Ini dia.
At the same time, Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Ahmad Douglas Ugah Embas reiterated that the government would not seize lands freely, but it will be compensated to landowners instead. As development plans are part of the government efforts and infrastructure projects in rural areas.
Kerana di Krian ini masih ada beberapa tempat masyarakat yang telah dihasutkan oleh pihak yang tidak bertanggungjawab yang mengatakan bahawa Seksyen 6 ini adalah usaha kerajaan mengambil tanah kita. Itu bohong, bulak ceritanya.
Former Sarawak Deputy Chief Minister Tan Sri Alfred Jabu Numpang has stressed that only the Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS coalition can bring Sarawak to the highest level of development and progress. By retaining the state government administration under GPS, development and progress efforts could continue to be implemented more vigorously in line with plans to achieve a developed state status by 2030.
He said GPS, led by Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, had demonstrated the coalition's capabilities with various drastic changes which had been made to drive the state's economic growth, including in rural areas, which was also a priority. GPS, comprising Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu PBB, Parti Rakyat Sarawak PRS, Progressive Democratic Party PDP, and Sarawak United People's Party SUPP, for the first time moved on its own after leaving the Barisan Nasional BN coalition in June 2018 and no longer uses the dacing scale symbol in the state polls. Jabu said the outstanding achievement of GPS could not be denied, which is demonstrated by the various development projects, including the construction of bridges and highways and the establishment of companies such as Petroleum Sarawak Berhad or Petros, Development Bank of Sarawak DBOS, and many more. He said GPS should also be given a new mandate, as only elected representatives from the coalition understood the Sarawakians well, including the situation in rural, remote and suburban areas. Apart from that, he also said that current voters should also be wise to vote and not choose candidates who practice a party-hopping culture. He stressed that such candidates have long been rejected by the Sarawakians due to party and self-interest.
The passing of the bill to amend the federal constitution on the 1963 Malaysia Agreement marks a new history for the country and proof of Malaysia's spirit of unity in diversity. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the approval would provide Sabah and Sarawak its recognition and special status during the formation of the Federation of Malaysia.
Ismail Sabri, in his Facebook post, said the amendment on the definitions of state in the federal constitution related to the MA63 received approval of backbenchers and the opposition's MPs in the parliament. Yesterday, the parliament passed the amendment bill to give recognition to the claims and special status of Sabah and Sarawak when they joined Malaya to form the Federation of Malaysia. A total of 200 MPs voted in favour of the bill on the second reading, while 20 others were absent. On the third reading, 199 MPs voted in favour of it, while 21 others were absent.
Kecemasan, boleh saya bantu?
Hello, there's been a motorcycle accident here. Maybe an elephant ran it over.
Sir, there is fire accident at the address number 5 Jalan Tembika Shah Alam.
PGO from FRT Shah Alam, there was no fire accident here, over.
MERS 999. Use it wisely.
Welcome back to the Nightline. After years of waiting, the dream of Sri Aman residents to have its new hospital will finally be answered. The long-awaited new Sri Aman Hospital will be fully operational by April next year, and once opened, it would enhance the service of the old Sri Aman Hospital, which has been around since 1964. The matter was confirmed by Health Minister himself, Khairi Jamaluddin, at the pre-handing over ceremony of the hospital to the Health Ministry MOH on Wednesday.
Saya tahu bahawa Hospital ini sangat-sangat dinanti-nantikan. Hospital ini 108 katil, selaras dengan sasaran kerajaan mencapai nisbah 2.06 katil hospital bagi setiap 1,000 penduduk menjelang tahun 2025.
Once operational, Khairi said the new hospital would greatly increase access to specialist treatment and thus eliminating the need for residents from the 2nd Division to seek specialist treatment to Kuching. The new hospital will be equipped with various modern-day facilities, including a computed tomography, CT scanning facility, and an intensive care unit ICU, which was not previously available at the old Sri Aman Hospital. In addition, the hospital will also see an increase in staffing of over 500 staff, which will greatly improve the healthcare service delivery in the area. Also present was Senior Works Minister Dr. Sri Fadila Yusof and Secretary General of the MOH, Dr. Muhammad Shafiq Abdullah. Costing 187 million ringgit, the first phase of the project dates back to 2012, involving earthwork project and construction commenced in 2015. However, its progress had been plagued by delays and setbacks such as the COVID-19 pandemic and materials such as labor issues. Agriculture remains to be a significant contributor in the generation of revenue as it is the main source of food, a basic necessity for all living things. In modern agriculture, innovation is more vital than ever because the industry are faced with enormous challenges from rising costs of supplies to change in customer demands for transparency and sustainability. Thus, Gabungan Party Sarawak, or GPS, has formulated a master plan for agriculture and rural economy transformation to reshape and propel the agriculture, livestock and fisheries sector in their recently announced manifesto.
Agriculture technology has witnessed a massive increase in investment over the past 10 years, with 28.3 billion ringgit invested worldwide in the last 5 years and 8.03 billion ringgit invested worldwide in 2020 alone. Thus, the Chief Minister, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, has allocated more than 1.3 billion ringgit for agriculture development under the 11th Malaysia Plan, or 11MP. Sarike, home to dynamic farmers where agriculture is its economic strength, was chosen to house the first agro-park in Sarawak, where 500 acres of land was given to boost the agriculture activities in the district. Report incumbent who will be contesting to retain his seat, Datuk Sri Huang Tiong Si, thanked GPS and its chairman Abang Jo, who approved the project in which he added has boosted the economic revenue and income for farmers surrounding the area.
Inisiatif kerajaan GPS juga meluluskan projek ekopra di Sarike dilihat sebagai usaha untuk meloncat potensi Sarike dalam sektor pertanian moden. Ini merupakan salah satu pendekatan proaktif untuk meningkatkan pendapatan rakyat, khususnya golongan petani dan amalan pertanian moden.
Technology adaptation in agriculture is crucial and comes with a lot of benefits. Through technology, farmers are in a position to electrify every process for efficiency and improved production. Such technology innovations includes indoor vertical farming, automation and robotics, livestock technology, modern greenhouse practices, precision agriculture, and artificial intelligence. Modern agriculture technology hopes to achieve, among others, 2 important goals: profitable economy and better output. Huang Tiong Si also expressed his appreciation to the state government for approving the Sarike Tanjung Manis Link Road, in which would increase connectivity and economy of the surrounding areas.
Pelaksanaan projek jalan Sarike ke Tanjung Manis membuktikan kerajaan Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS tidak bercakap kosong. Langkah ini juga sebagai menunaikan janji kepada rakyat yang ingin melihat pembangunan. Ini hadiah terbesar kita kepada penduduk di Sarike sejak menjadi adu di kawasan ini. Saya amat berterima kasih kepada Ketua Menteri kerana meluluskan tanah untuk projek tersebut.
The project, costing 321 million ringgit, will link Tanjung Manis and Serike and will indirectly increase the local revenue as farmers could now export their products more efficiently with improved logistics. With that, Huang hopes the people of Sarawak would continue to support GPS so that the development plans that has been crafted could be continued to be implemented.
Akhir kata sekali lagi saya menyuruh semua anak-anak Sarawak untuk menyokong sepenuhnya kepimpinan Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Apanco, Gabungan Parti Sarawak. Utamakan Sarawak, Sarawak first.
Now, it is a well-known fact that Balingan has the potential to be on a high economic growth trajectory, and it is due time that for the sub-district to be promoted to a full-fledged district for better governance and administration, said Balingan GPS candidate Abdul Yaqub Arabi. This would also expedite and effectively transform its socio-economic landscape that enable optimum utilization of its demographic potentials, while focuses closely on improving people's ability to participate fully in the burgeoning economy.
Reason being, if we are given a full-fledged district, then, it will be quite easy for us to manage ourselves. For now, everything is managed by the Muka District Office, which is away from us. So, there is a lot of difficulties. One is our location, another is, our logistic from the small district to the Muka. Even for that matter, like education. All our people there has to go to Muka to study.
The proposed elevation of Balingan status into district was among requests brought forward by Abdul Yaqub to Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. Other than that, Abdul Yaqub also said that one of the reasons that Balingan should elevate to full district because of the resources and the local economy.
The Balingan power plant also fall into the Balingan constituency. And then we also have one plant, fresh metal plant, in my constituency. And then we have a few palm oil plantation also. Not a few, quite a number of palm oil plantation around Balingan. So with all this, I see that there is a lot of possibility for Balingan to be a full-fledged district. We have a lot of coal reserve. Yeah, that's why we have the two coal power generated plant, provide electricity.
He said this when contacted by TBS today. Meanwhile, on his candidacy for Balingan in the December 18 state poll, Abdul Yaqub said he will treat all his rivals seriously, adding that he will not be complacent on whoever that are contesting.
They are also working very hard. I cannot discredit what they do. And what I always tell them, just good luck. I will see them as an opponent. I don't say that I fear them. None of them I fear. But they are my opponent. I cannot, see them as just a small opponent. I say that they are opponents.
This December 18, Abdul Yaqub will be up in a three-cornered fight for Balingan against Yusuf Abdul Rahman from Parti Bersatu Sarawak PSB and Abdul Jalil Bujang of PKR. In the previous state election in which he seeked his first term, Abdul Yaqub won a majority of 2,964 votes against Nurzaiti Hamdan of Amanah.
The Agriculture and Food Industries Ministry, through the Malaysian Pineapple Industry Board (LPNM), is targeting to increase pineapple cultivation in Sarawak to 4,000 hectares by 2025 in an effort to meet the high demands from abroad and within the country. Its Deputy Minister Dr. Nik Mohammed Zawawi Saleh said, in order to achieve the target and strengthen the pineapple industry, LPNM would continue to assist smallholders and farm operators in terms of planting material incentives, agricultural inputs, infrastructure, as well as support and technical services. Nik Mohammed Zawawi said, to date, a total of 500 pineapple growers and farm operators in Sarawak were under LPNM's supervision. Meanwhile, he called upon educated young people in Sarawak to venture into agriculture as it could generate lucrative income.
Negeri Sarawak, sebuah negeri yang nyata luar biasa. Inilah misi untuk mengeksplorasi keindahan dan keunikan negeri Sarawak.
Perjalanan ke lokasi pun dah menjadi seperti sesuatu pengembaraan. Macam-macamlah yang ada. Budaya, sosial, landscape, flora, fauna dan alam semula jadi.
Jom bersama aku, Chopi dan Amir mengembara pusing Sarawak ini dalam Kemah Kita Bah.
Thank you for staying with me. And now on to the next highlight. Two elite athletes, track cycling champion Datuk Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang and diving queen Datuk Pandelela Rinong, are among the nominees vying for the 2019/2020 National Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year Awards.
They are expected to be strongly challenged by the others shortlisted for the National Sports Award (ASN) ceremony, which is scheduled to be held at a hotel in Subang Jaya on Tuesday. For the National Sportsman category, Muhammad Azizul Hasni, dubbed the Pocket Rocket Man, as bodybuilder Muhammad Sharul Azman Mahin Abdullah, archer Khairul Anwar Muhammad, 10-pin bowler Timmy Tan, and wushu exponent Wong Weng Sun for company. Pandelela will be challenged by wushu exponent Tan Chong Min, land bowler Siti Zalina Ahmad, 10-pin bowler Sin Lee Jain, and gymnast Farah N. Abdul Hadi for the National Sportswoman Award. For the National Paralympic Sportsman category, archer as Suresh heads the nomination, followed by Boni Bunyao Gustin, powerlifting, Chia Lek Ho, badminton, Muhammad Nur Saiful Zulkafli, swimming, and Chiu Wei Lun for Baucha. The National Sports Council (NSC) in a statement said the nominations of the athletes were based on their excellent achievements on the international stage in 2019 and 2020.
And now on to our world affairs. Police in Germany's eastern state of Saxony have launched a series of raids after death threats were made against Premier Michael Kretschmer for backing coronavirus measures. Far-right anti-vaccination activists are suspected of plotting violence with crossbows or other piercing weapons. The searches in the city of Dresden targeted individual members of a group on the messaging program Telegram, where plans for the killing were discussed in connection with the state government's coronavirus curbs. Germany's new Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, said that this tiny minority of uninhibited extremists would not be allowed to impose their will on society. Police in Saxony said security forces, including the Special Soccer Rex anti-extremist unit, were raiding a number of locations. The plot against Mr. Kretschmer was first exposed by the Frontal program, whose journalists had infiltrated a group of some 100 people communicating via the Telegram messaging app. Police said statements had been made on plans to kill the state premier as well as other state representatives. The revelations prompted an outcry in Germany. Mr. Kretschmer said all legal means should be used against such threats. And that update concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. Here with me, Shosha Metro, and I'll see you next time. Have a good morning.
Pilihan